Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how y'all doing? This is Colin Ulrich.
I'm Angry. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today, kind of kicking off our weekly coverage here of Steel Division 2, we have a real banger going on over here on Shechedra. And Rang, who is here and what are they bringing to the fray?
On the left-hand side in blue, we have Biscuit playing as the 9th Guards Cavalry with a flatline income, and the right-hand side we have Metalphase playing as the 3rd Armored Division with a Maverick income.
So, I mean, I know people out there who be like, dude, this is a mirror match, but technically, I mean, we have Soviets and Americans. This is really more of a Cold War thing. In
Yeah.
fact, I feel like it's a Red Dragon call out. Is that what it is? Yeah, Red Dragon.
Yeah.
So, but we're gonna see early here. We're gonna see a couple of M8 Greyhounds down to the south. I do like this. Yes, no armor whatsoever, even against the 45 mil. Good vision, good fire support, and it's a nice kind of quick, standoff support weapon here.
Yep, the speed really helps in terms of getting to the front line first and blowing stuff up. There are 2 anti-tank guns being set into position, so they could probably rain on that Greyhound parade, and the Stuart as well.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, that metal rain is always going to be kind of a bit of a devastating issue here or there.
Especially up north with the mortars.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to call out here. The 60 mil mortars, which continue to be such a kind of devastating piece of equipment here. They definitely need to be utilized. All the Kazakh troops, how's it going to face off against the kind of early engineers and the LMG rifles?
The American infantry, especially in 3rd Armored, is pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's all bloody semi-automatic rifles, but you don't get a lot of them. So you're definitely going to need a bit of extra fire support against that Kazaki spam. And as you can see with the supply network, or command network setup, he's getting a very lovely 2-star veterancy on all this infantry.
Yeah, I mean, part of me kind of wonders if we're actually even going to be seeing any kind of aggressive play to the north, if this is more of a stopgap measure by the Americans. I can't help but feel like down to the south they're going to play to that kind of armored strength.
Yeah,
I mean, geez, we already have a dead T-34-76. Was that? No, that wasn't from an AT weapon. What the heck was that from?
Oh no. I don't know. But down south out Jumbo that's gonna be such a pain in the ass for the Cossack division to kill, as they have no proper heavy anti-tank really, especially anything that can penetrate a bloody Jumbo. Even shooting the side of it with those 45 mils will be a difficult task.
It certainly will be. It certainly will be. I mean, and wait, we're gonna say that. Is there aggression to the north? There is. Yep, actually, we're seeing some minor aggression to the north. The Kazakh troops are moving through their jump-off points, and this is kind of what I think Metalphase was fearing. They're kind of column moving on in, but we see a couple of Shermans coming the other direction. So how does this look? I mean, we're going to have Kazakh troops with PTRDs against Shermans inside of a town. How quickly do you think that we reduce to husks?
I think the Shermans will probably, survive for a little bit and then eventually get shot or disabled to a point where they're completely useless. This is very good so far for Biscuit. He's very close to totally taking over his town, and really on a map like this against 3rd Armored, playing to the town is going to be his best strength.
Yep, he does certainly seem to be in it for that, Biscuit. But looking overall, I mean, that second wave of Kazakh troops, and again, was there an Osnats in there as well? Yeah, an Osnats in the back. I think there's going to be more than enough to kind of push them out. These engineers are not going to get there in time.
The Osnats is definitely a very good play, because that with its bazooka can definitely knock out those Sherman tanks, which get a bit frisky. Speaking of frisky, we got Metalphase pushing across the middle here for a half-track and a Stuart taking quite a bit of ground.
By the way, I'm kind of mildly amused by the fact that we have MCHOs behind the front line, and this Jumbo is kind of going into this valley of death as well.
I'm you, but bigger.
Exactly. I'm you, but with 3 C's. And shockingly enough, actually, we're seeing PPSH Kazakhs being forced back by LMG rifles in a half-track in the center? Is this... No, it's just reordering themselves. Okay, that's a better option.
Yeah, they're a little bit... Not in the best position being behind enemy lines. They're going to be taking a bit of a morale debuff because of that. But maybe Biscuit can reconnect the lines. We've got some Kazakis being brought in to retake that forest.
I'm actually kind of very surprised by the kind of armor deployment that we're seeing here overall. More or less, actually, I mean, from Biscuit's side of things. And not because it's outmatched by any stretch of the imagination, but more of... I feel like in the Ninth Guards Cav, you kind of commit to really going the T-34 route. You commit to the MCHA route. You don't really tend to go for both. Maybe I'm incorrect
Yeah,
there.
no, you're kind of correct. You usually see people usually just stick to the Amsha tanks, I find, with Ninth Guards, but it seems like Biscuit wants to have a little bit of extra tank firepower by taking more cards, and especially against an armor division, that's not a terrible idea. But as we're seeing right now, that Jumbo, he's oh, I thought he's engaging the other jet, but he's engaged on the T-34, so this would be a perfect time for those, like, Emchas just up north to try to, outflank
Aggress.
that Jumbo, yeah. I mean, you can definitely get a rear shot on that if you do some good maneuvering.
P-51 comes in and just wipes out like 2 or 3 squads of the Kazakhs in the middle. I mean, these guys aren't cut off anymore, but neither are they in a fantastic position.
No, they're really gonna, I think they're gonna wait for probably some extra armored support coming in from the north before maybe making a bit more of an aggressive play. Yeah, we do have a 57mm AT gun nearby, but it's not in a good position. It actually has no line of sight towards the tanks, but if he just moves it a little bit, he would.
Definitely
the Jumbo is being engaged at point blank, and our Biscuit, you need to move in closer, but at the same time, the Jumbo is having a bit of a hard time penetrating the other Shermans.
No, but at the same time, though, he still has the M8 sitting behind. He had the AT gun as well. So, I mean, that was definitely a good opportunity for him. And honestly, even if he pushes the M-trip back into the trees, now you have to be worried. Yep, and the Kazakhs start to get taken off, picked off one by one. Even with this smoke in the way, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, that Jumbo is just an absolute pain in the arse, and really just smoking it off, try to block its line of sight is really all Biscuit can do.
Unfortunate.
Or he could have flanked it, but that
yeah, but I
opportunity
mean,
has gone.
Where's the fun in that? You don't want to flank them. You want to kill stuff. That's what this game is for.
Oh, he's going to rush Northnas into the smoke.
This is not going to be a good idea.
Come on, unload.
No, it's too far. And now he's being seen by the M8 and the M4, so this is going to be a rather swift conclusion to our Osnas.
Oh no, I think he might get a shot.
It's too far. No way.
Shoot!
No way.
Or he didn't get a kill.
Wait a second.
Like 200-meter range.
Yeah, I know. It was one of those things I was looking at. I was like, wait a second. This is not a Panzerfaust I was thinking about here. I think that's why my brain is all wired in that direction. Interesting that we actually have an M4A1 with 76 upgun behind the front line. It's kind of interesting. I think he's quite nervous about this concentration of armor in the middle, and he should be. Look at this wave kind of rushing forwards.
Probably brought in reaction of that, but it's a really good push here from Biscuit. Once again, trying to play in the CQC areas in the forest. Really gonna be his best strength against Third Armored. And if he can just get more Thiccc troops in there, some Osnases or bazookas, and also just all his tanks, he should have a decent time holding that area. I mean, up north, in the town, actually, Metalphase is holding out pretty well. I think it's really due to that mortars.
But mortars run out, and they're down to their last 10 shells apiece.
Yeah. And we've got mortar bikes from Biscuit, which is definitely gonna help change the tide, so to speak.
Mortar bikes. It feels such like a Warhammer 40k thing to kind of say.
It does actually.
It's like a speed freak thing. It's like such an orky kind of idea. Now we are seeing reinforcements being brought in here to the center, as well as the mortar over here trying to drop some rounds. What's he looking for? He's looking for something. He's smoking off the retreat path? Interesting.
Oh. I think because he's got his Stuart coming in down south.
No, Stuart's staying on the southern arterial. Oh my god, this is the most lopsided engagement ever. Whoa!
What the fuck?
That was a side shot right there. He didn't get the angle in time.
Oh, that's a front shot. Zooming on the Sherman, that was 100% a front shot, Khan. What the The armor penetration in this game is goddamn black magic, I swear.
Well, he bought the premium ammo, so that was the thing. Yeah.
Goddamn Peter and Sturridge.
Well, it's an American thing. Like, what do you expect? But he does go down. I mean, order is restored to the universe. Meanwhile, the Jumbo just continues to just lob rounds downrange at these other MCHAs. Not going to do diddly squat. And we have actually, ooh, there's other M4 up close and personal, but he's not really seeing anything.
It's the same that Biscuit doesn't have any anti-tank infantry in that forest,
Yes.
because he can just run up behind that jumbo, yeet a grenade or bazooka, and down goes the jumbo.
Well, meanwhile, in the middle, we're seeing armored rifles actually trying to go and take out something, but apparently they took their stupid pills this morning because they can't hit any kind of armored vehicle there.
Nope.
But this M4A1 is sidling around behind. This MP51 making a bombing run. Yep. Skipping a bomb. There was and the log. Ooh, and the log took out the Rhino. Not the
Oh
Rhino.
wow.
Excuse me, the Jumbo.
Oh wow. It did. That's that's pretty
But
good.
I think that was an HP kill. I don't think that was actually like a legitimate kill. That was an HP
Yeah,
one.
I have a feeling. I mean, that jumbo's been shot to hell and back. He's probably pretty low on that invisible HP bar.
I am a little bit concerned right now for Biscuit for the next 10 minutes. Because this is Maverick, this is third armored. This is the time you're probably going to start seeing some huge swaths of material coming in. Actually, in
Yeah,
fact, we have a jumbo coming to the north and
yeah,
several squads of infantry.
yeah. This is really going to be the make or break part of the match. If Metalphase can keep up the momentum, if he can, and it looks like he can in the middle, if he can push pretty heavily he should be able to secure the match. So yeah, Biscuit needs to really either try to take his northern town or try to secure the central hills.
Actually, the major concern here is that he's got to take out these 3 armored vehicles. We have this bazooka team kind of rushing on in. And obviously the bazooka team's not going to do squat. But now as these T-34s kind of idle back to the valley, that is an interesting placement there.
Mm-hmm. It's
And by
gonna.
interesting, yeah, I'm not thrilled by it. But the M4A1 does go down from the northern placed MCHAs across the river, so well done there.
Oh, that was a good flanking shot.
Certainly was.
We got
But,
some off map being brought in up north for Biscuit, so maybe that will
ooh.
change the tide, allow him to actually capture so bloody town.
I was going to say, actually, the third armored really should be more of a Hydra as like a sign here, because you just killed 1-4M, 4M1, and immediately what happens? We see 2 more getting brought back into the south.
Maverick income.
Exactly. And I'm really surprised by the amount of armor that the 9th Guards have been able to bring on, 9th Cav have technically been able to bring on in.
Yeah, they're usually not a super heavy armor division, but they have a decent amount of A phase and B phase cards. No C phase tanks, unfortunately, for them. So later on in the match, it won't be looking pretty for them.
Oh, by the way, we are going to see a Soviet push here in about 35, 40 seconds as the artillery's going to start coming down. More Kazakhs being brought on in the anticipation of exploiting that. But he's got to be careful because he's just lost the center flag as... that. Honestly, in retrospect, I'm very surprised that he was so panicked or so.
Oh, he pulled back all those tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never see people actually fall back properly like that. That's quite surprising. He's going to be relinking, I think, with his backup MCHs and then maybe do another push, or maybe try to push up north with him.
I don't know. We are going to see a bomber going after the... Yeah, that was a very weird ordnance decision. And both are being called away. That is so strange. And as the artillery comes in, the third is actually making its own quasi-push, looking to envelop the town. Might actually be able to take out this off-map should he get eyes.
Oh yeah, Biscuit's running for the hit. Well, I say hills, but really running in towns. Trying to save his off-map's life. But the off-map charge did a decent amount of damage, but Biscuit isn't following through with the counter-offensive while everyone's pinned down. Which is a huge mistake.
Yes, indeed. And while even these half-tracks are going to get taken out pretty quickly here, not exactly the most robust frontline units, they are still quite good at kind of seizing that territory.
Yeah. Using half-tracks against a Soviet player is always a really difficult task with just the amount of goddamn anti-tank rifles they have.
Sure. troop. Actually, we're seeing another charge actually happening across the central saddle as 4 half-tracks kind of go on forwards. Even as both of our 76mm up guns are going to start engaging, but there's a log coming the other direction. This has actually been quite a back and forth kind of alternative here.
Mm-hmm. Will I get something out of that rocket run? No.
He chose poorly.
Didn't even shoot his rockets. I think he lost line of sight at last second.
Either that or he's suddenly afraid of this P-51, which I guess I kind of would be too.
Yeah. An American
6 to 12
Mustang is
seconds.
really fast. Holy crap. Bit too fast too.
But with even one burst, in fact, how much did he use? He used, what, like 100 rounds? And already at that point, he is already got black smoke trailing out.
And you get behind for the coup d'etat.
Yep, and here's that coup. No, there's no way he's getting away from this. Wow.
Here we go.
Oh, it's a heartbreak.
Now really get this other light coming in up north.
Ooh, by the way, Metal brought his in his own off map. I can practically have a 155 going the other direction.
Oh. There we go. That's what really Metal needs. It's just he doesn't need to capture the town, just needs to keep it at a neutral state, so to speak. And by dropping off map artillery definitely helps to keep that fact. And he's doing a bit good earlier, but now it's back down to 13-11. He is still technically winning, but usually with a Maverick deck you want to be winning really hard by this point.
Well, not for nothing. We have this Soviet infantry is being forced into, let's say, a rather unfortunate position. In fact, these half tracks are getting surrenders. That's how bad this is.
Some classic
front line's
SC-44 play here, using just Russian half tracks into surrender. Holy moly!
Russian half tracks. I think you mean American. But just like that, I mean, the artillery kind of falls on nothing, which this is not how they drew it up. You can see it right now. More Kazakhs being rushed into the front, but that is asking for trouble.
That's how you do it off-map artillery, Barrage. You ration and get surrenders. Biscuit was definitely a little bit too tame after dropping his off-maps. And he really paid for it great dearly.
Well, right now, though, too, Biscuit is paying the price down south as well of his earlier temerity. Or rather, timidness. Temerity would have been much more preferable. Down to the south, we're seeing Kazakh troops being pushed back on these slopes. Yes, for the moment, they've pushed them away from the front side, but there's a curve that's happening around the south. And those BAR troops that will eventually win out, in my mind, against those guys in the open. So.
Yeah, I've all just semi-automatic rifle fire. American infantry is so scary.
One thing I am surprised to see is the utter lack of any kind of anti-air, really.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand that people don't really focus on anti-air that much. It's not really in vogue to worry about. But that would have helped us significantly in kind of keeping some of these troops at arm's length.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, we usually complain about no artillery in matches, but here we have no anti-air for a change.
I mean, for the 3rd Armored, you can kind of get away with it to a certain extent, because I feel like your air power is relatively strong at keeping other divisions at arm's length.
And 50 cows and everything.
Exactly. But we are seeing the cost actually right now. Ooh, no, this is going to be perfect. I thought this was going to be awful, as all these Kazakh troops were going to make their way outside of this artillery, but that is not going to be the case.
Oh. It's perfect, and he has one half track ready to go.
And so it begins.
God damn, yeah, off map. And you see, just only, what, 3 rifle squads in that town? Metalphase is pushing Biscuit back.
Well, and you can see the immediate fear, too. I mean, Biscuit remembers exactly what happened last time, which is why you saw the F key being hammered in your mind. Like, you didn't even have to look at the players playing it. And the last barrage going in, this is a very, very skillfully utilized off-map.
Yeah. Resting in the half tracks to get your surrenders.
Or at least the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Down to the south, there's now a I'm not entirely sure how to call it. It's not really an armored fist, more like an armored middle finger, as a couple of 75 mils and 76 mil are just going to kind of hold the line. And oh, look, anti-air, speak of the devil.
Oh, finally.
And the last barrage is going to actually hammer the half track to the north, though. Here it comes. Yes, be huge amounts of friendly fire here. It doesn't matter. He keeps him at arm's length, he wins. That's not a big deal.
And he has the jumper at the northern edge of the town, just blinking away at supply line. And once again, with Flame for Guards, there's not much you can do to it in a ground game level. He can bomb at you over lag, which might actually work.
True, but like lag overall, it happened unfortunately all too late.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shockingly, that Jumbo has no AP shells, so right now he's just plinking away for fun.
And he has like 30 AP shells, which is quite a decent amount. He's really been hard at work.
I'm sorry, I'm just watching this pressure down to the southern side here as Soviet infantry comes forward on foot against tanks and is sent away, as the Japanese did after a bonsai charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is... I think it's pretty clear to say that Metalphase is pretty much secured victory. And he's done a pretty good job with his Maverick income and, you know, eventually getting that breaking point, so to speak, before the 20-minute mark.
Well, and this again, the weirdest thing about this, though, is that for the longest time, Biscuit looked like he had this under control.
Yeah, like, he had an opportunity to take out northern attack with his early off-map charges, but...
Well, just the collection of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Just the collection of armor. I mean, that by itself, in my mind, had this ready to go. And then I think he became afraid of his own success for a second.
Yeah. Then Metalphase got all the American armor out, pumping out the factories, and he just has tanks and jumbos for days. And he has like 2 jumbos in the central northern position. So good luck killing them.
Well, and now the metal middle finger in the south has become an actual armored fist.
Mm-hmm.
M4A1 to 75 mils, just kind of walking point for that 76 mil.
Yep.
And I would say to the north we're having a death or glory artillery barrage, but it doesn't seem to be particularly fair to call it that. And I think all the rifles are going to be pretty much out of the way, except for maybe that unfortunate artillery commander.
Yeah, I think he's
that artillery
out of
barrage comes
charge,
in.
so he's just using them as a frontline unit. It's a nice thing about having an artillery tank. It's like pretty useful after it's done artillery and.
Oh no, I meant the Biscuit's last 152.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if the tank goes down, that's no big deal. But I meant the artillery commander behind with his
Oh yeah.
8 M1s.
And the Russian commander, the combat will die.
But determined not to let that Jumbo
2.
live. Yeah, we can do that in just a second here. Our track's broken. How about 2340?
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1, and go. But yeah, folks, you can pretty much see, I mean, this kind of tends to be the consistent issue over here. We've talked about it since release with the 9th Guards Cap, is that you kind of really need to be hyper aggressive, you need to be in tight, and you need to commit your armor in kind of a nice, kind of powerful armored thrust.
Yeah,
and you can fall away from that. Yes, go for it, please.
Yeah, flatline income doesn't really work with him. Like, a lot of their units come out only in A and B phase. They don't have many C phase units. You really need a Vanguard or Maverick income to really take advantage of the early game aggression with the Thicccs, the air power, and the Shermans.
And the KD kind of shows that. I mean, Metalphase definitely taking it to him pretty hardcore. There was one M4A1 Shepherd over here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 major ground kills and a couple of infantry squads. We have a field back, the off map claiming 6 or 7 kills by itself. We have the M8 doing particularly well. I mean, this is kind of how you want to see the 3rd Armored work. Although on Biscuit's side, we do have Zakharov over here that quite a few tallies to his name as well.
Yeah, he did pretty good. And apart from that, nothing else too crazy on Biscuit's side.
True. I mean, the one thing that's kind of funny to me is you're looking at how many vehicle kills are on, really, I would say, Biscuit's side against Metalphase. Just the inordinate number of half tracks, and you just keep thinking to yourself, man, the Americans have everything.
Yeah,
But
they a lot of troops.
but any last thoughts there, sir?
None.
Well, folks, in that case, then, guys, we will see you guys all real soon. But for right now, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, take it easy.